most of my family, including myself, if it weren't for my mom and dad, are illegal immigrants. So 9 times out of 10, we would have work visas to come into the United States to work, and then we would be here for a little while, and then we'd have to go back. I remember my first job, I picked cucumbers. I was 7 years old, and my whole family would get up early in the morning, and we would all go to this field, and we would pick cucumbers. We'd do that all day, sometimes from 6 in the morning till 7, 8 o'clock at night. And I'm pretty sure that what we were making was pennies. I don't ever recall a time that my family was not in poverty. We moved to Kalamazoo, Michigan because my father had a drug problem, and he had an alcohol addiction. My dad came home drunk and probably under the influence of multiple drugs, and he was angry and he was looking for my mother. So he kicked the door down of our one-bedroom trailer that we had at the time, and he proceeded to look for our mom, and when he found her, he beat my mom, and that caused my mom and my dad to separate in a way where my mom decided that we were going to leave and never come back. There's so many aspects to why we have so many guns in the community. I think for me, one of the biggest ones is a lack of father figures in the household, a lack of good male role models in the household. A lot of these young men that are growing up right now without fathers, they just need some direction. They need some support, because if they're not going to get that from their fathers, what's going to happen is these kids are going to grow up without fathers, and then they're going to have kids, and then their kids are going to grow up without fathers, because either this young man is going to get sent to prison or he's going to get killed. And it's this constant cycle. I think one of the biggest things that we could do as a community is supporting individuals who are growing up in similar ways like I was raised or like I grew up, supporting them earlier on in life. If we can get kids, the younger we can get kids support, and the younger we can get them resources to deter them from going down a path of violence or a path of drugs, I think that is something that will make a big difference. A lot of times we're very reactive to things. It wasn't until I started getting sent to jail and then going to prison and things like that. It wasn't until then to where people started to notice, like, maybe he needs help. But how can we get individuals to see that other individuals may need some support or some services before they get to prison, before they get shot, before they shoot somebody, before they smoke that weed or do those drugs? How can we provide these resources ahead of time and be proactive instead of reactive? And because I'm alive to tell this story, to do this interview, I think that people like me should get more support so that we can teach what we know and we can perfect the craft that we've received, so that we can share this with the next person, the next young man, the next senior graduating high school that doesn't know what he's going to do, if he's going to go to college or not, or the middle schooler that wants to be a police officer, but he's getting picked on because they said that he's going to be the police and he's going to snitch and this and that. Like, people like me can go and assist individuals like that, and we can walk with them through certain things in life so we can show them that what we've learned in a matter of a lifespan, they can learn it in just a year or two by hanging out and doing life with us. Providing these young men and women with jobs on an early age, or providing them with training or trades at an early age, it's only going to expose them to what's available out there. If we can just expose most of the people to all the things that are available, then maybe they'll just have more choices to choose from. A lot of these kids and a lot of these boys and girls that are joining gangs or committing crimes, going to jail or getting killed, they have a lack of choices. They don't have too many choices because they're not being exposed to them. But if we can take these kids and take them on field trips and take them and show them all these trades, how to pour concrete, how to fix and change a light bulb, like all these little things, maybe, just maybe, they might fall in love with what we teach them, and they'll decide to go on this other path instead of the one that they're in right now. And if we do that, if we start to change one person's life one at a time, eventually we'll be changing the world.